organization called Música, which brings into San Miguel de Allende world-class chamber music, performance, and groups, supports various youth enrichment programs. Música Youth Orchestra, under the direction of Canadian conductor Robert Murray, is comprised of young Mexican musicians between 18 to 30 who aspire to become professional musicians in orchestras. Now let me introduce you to Maestro Robert Murray, the musical director and principal conductor of the PMYO.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
I'm so very excited to share many aspects of this project and how important it is for the community of San Miguel and the young musicians.
But tell me something first. Why do you have a handbag? What's in here?
Well, I've been pondering a lot lately about the concept of seeds and their potential.
Okay.
So when you plant a seed, you know you're planting one seed, and if you take care of it and nourish it, it becomes a tree. And that tree produces apples. And the potential in each of those apples then is to produce more trees, which will produce more apples, and on and on and on.
Yeah. And how does this metaphor relate to your plans for the future for the PMYO?
So Música, with its original conductor, Tim Hazel, planted the initial seeds for the orchestra by starting it with a small group of young musicians. Since I took over, I see myself as a caretaker, pruning and taking care of the tree and ensuring that the seedlings grow strong and produce excellent fruit.
Michael Pearl is the president of Música, and I recently had the pleasure of interviewing him here at his home in San Miguel de Allende. I would love it if you could give us a history.
The orchestra has been going about 12 years now, and what we found was during this more than a decade that we've been doing this, that there's tremendous enthusiasm from the parents of the young musicians and audiences to see them playing classical music. I'm very excited, and for the first time in more than 10 years, I'm seeing a way forward that the orchestra can become, perpetual and not exactly self-sustaining, but that there is a solid base for it to go forward because of the skills that Robert has. Robert is a wonderful fundraiser, an inspiring musician, a good administrator.
There's two types of musicians there. There are those that really wish to be, professional musicians. They're at university and they want to be in an orchestra somewhere, or soloists, but mostly want to be in orchestras. There's others who are accomplished musicians that are just there because they like music and they found a spot and we allowed them in and they play well enough to be in the orchestra.
Maestro Mari, how else would you say you nourish and care for these young Mexican musicians?
Well, during our rehearsals, I enforce values such as arriving on time, never missing a rehearsal, communicating respectfully to one another and to myself, and the discipline of practicing at home, as well, obviously, about music and music making. So Sophia, we just watched those videos of rehearsals, and I know you've attended some of our rehearsals.
Yes, I've had the privilege of being right there amongst all the musicians at Sindicato, and it was like stepping into another dimension, but I also got the opportunity to see it through my son's eyes, because Rafael was sitting on my lap and we were between all of the musicians right there in the center, and Rafael, he was so calm, and he's very active, and he was so calm, and he turned to me and said, "Mommy, I feel this in my belly, and I felt that in my skin," and he just reacted to all the fibras, the vibration of the music, and that just got me thinking of how important it is for all of us to experience classical music, to experience what it is just to hear an orchestra. Behind every instrument there is a whole story, a person, a family. Some of them have children. And that just changes everything. It's not just the whole piece, it's individuals with a talent, with a story, with a family to support many of them. Some of them are teachers, and just getting to see what it all entails, it's been wonderful.
And to come back to our metaphor, I think of after preparing the trees, the concerts are one aspect of the fruit of the trees. So the concert, in some sense, is our apple. But both the community being part of that experience and the audience, they reap the benefits of the apples. But the musicians themselves also benefit greatly. And partly that's why we present works of the classics, Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, Haydn, Mahler. It's so important for these young musicians to be involved with these classical works that have stood the test of time. And on top of that, it needs to prepare them for their auditions.
Right.
Because if they don't play these pieces, just practicing their solos is not good enough. They need to really experience in depth these pieces.
The musicians, the young musicians, are they all from San Miguel or from other places?
More than 50 musicians, only less than 5 are in San Miguel. So most of the musicians come from towns all the way around San Miguel. Many of them have to travel more than 2 hours in each direction for a 3-hour rehearsal. Some of them have to take 2 buses, some of them take an Uber, some of them carpool. One poor fellow showed me his bus ticket. They sold him the ticket for the wrong day and they wouldn't give him an exchange, so he couldn't make it to the rehearsal. He was like devastated. And the price of the ticket was 350 pesos and he only gets 500 pesos to come to the rehearsal.
Wow, so it's a huge commitment in so many levels.
It's a big commitment, and the dedication that these kids have is incredible. The fruit of the apple is also for the audience because they enjoy the concerts.
Yeah.
And the fruit of the apple is our young aspiring musicians.
And now let's hear from some of the musicians to see how the seeds that have been planted and the fruit, the delicious fruit that is being produced, the music, influences in their lives of the musicians and also all the people that they themselves influence.
I am a teacher in an elementary school. I have in charge maybe 200 children, so I have to prepare him to enjoy and love music. I'm also in part of a music education group that is in charge of so many children in communities, little towns near to Querétaro, that we are like part of a big orchestra. So I have to teach some kids viola, to play the viola. So I have to learn a lot of music and how to work in an orchestra. So that's why I'm here in the Pro Music Youth Orchestra. I'm very grateful with the people that support this orchestra because with their money we can make many kind of things and mark difference in the life of other musicians.
Nosotros somos esposos y estar aquí nos ha permitido trabajar juntos como músicos, que es lo que más nos gusta.
Obviamente el apoyo económico ha sido clave en mis estudios más que nada, porque pues yo ya dependo económicamente 100% de mí, ya que pues mi mamá pues ha tenido a veces algunos problemitas. Aparte pues que la verdad me gusta mucho venir a esta orquesta con nuestro director Robert.
Maestro Mari, you mentioned the patrons. How do they fit into the metaphor?
Well, our patrons are the sunshine, water, earth, and nutrients that make the growth of our apple trees possible and ensure that the fruit is both healthy and plentiful. It's obvious the future of classical music is in the hands of the young musicians. If we don't nourish them, the food of the future will be at great risk. Without our patrons, none of this is possible. Let's hear from some of them.
¿Qué te llevó a querer formar parte de la Orquesta de Pro Música, a apoyarlos?
Pues qué mejor actividad que apoyar a la juventud mexicana en una actividad que es fantástica, que es la música clásica. Estás creando no solamente el desarrollo de esa habilidad, de ese gusto para ellos, pero también, posiblemente, darles una vocación profesional.
What meaning does it carry for you?
All through my life I had the best music education. I didn't do it for my living, but it was transformative in my life. And I feel like I have an obligation to try to pay that forward, you know,
Yes.
to the next generation. Most classical music concerts these days, then you'll see people my age, you know. You won't see very many people your age.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Yeah, and so you have to ask yourself what's going to happen. But that orchestra is our best help, our best hope.
Thank you so much for watching this documentary on the Pro Musica Youth Orchestra. If you want to learn more about this incredible story, visit pmyouthorchestra.com. We really hope that this will inspire you to support these young Mexican musicians, which will affect many generations to come.
So if you feel inspired to donate, please go to pmyouthorchestra.com/donate to see the many ways that your money can be invested in the future of classical music.